So, from your dad's perspective, working with him every day, what level of protection was offered to you from?
Everything.
Okay.
So my dad's name is Spooky. He'll be 71 this year, and when
Okay.
he was born, he wasn't supposed to be alive. And he came out kicking and screaming, and the doctor said, "Well, if that isn't the spookiest thing I've ever seen," and that stuck. Now that's if you don't know his if you call him by his real name, you don't know him. You know what I mean? And so in the oil field, he had a pretty big amount of respect. So you didn't cuss around me, you didn't do anything around me. But when my dad wasn't there,
Which could have been often, right? Because
quite
if
often,
you're working, you're going to help
he
whoever
sent me
needs to
with
be
other
helped.
welders. But he thought that he had enough fear on the other people that they wouldn't try to influence his son in any
Yeah.
kind of way. And my dad's pretty freaking intelligent. He
Mhm.
doesn't have a high school degree, doesn't have a GED.
Is he a Christian?
He is now, and that's a whole nother story, man. And but back then he wasn't, and so he
But you grew up in church.
grew up in church because
Your mom.
my mom was always the one in church. Now, her relationship with the Lord wasn't what it is today. Back then, she just played the piano in the little country church, had a Sunday bag. You know what I mean? Like that bag set by the counter, and she picked it up on Sunday.
That's an interesting thought because I've seen those bags before growing up. You got you got your Bible, you got your choir notes or whatever else, and like you say, it just sits until Sunday.
By the counter.
Yeah.
Now her Bible sits open with a notebook and a pen, and she has her time with the Lord. And, that really didn't happen until probably 10, 15 years ago, something like that.
So what was it, do you think, that drove her to make sure that you were in church?
That's what she grew up doing. So my mom and dad grew up completely different. Mama grew up with 9 family members. Daddy grew up with 5. Mama grew up in church. Daddy grew up with an alcoholic family to where he was the oldest. And so he was the one having to pick his mama and daddy up when they were fighting each other, or had to be the one to get the younger kids out of the house when things like that were going on. So
Okay.
mom had us in church. Daddy had us working.